So first, let's talk about the whole Oda Sensei hates theories situation started. It all comes from the something Japanese comedian from the duo Shimofuri Myojo said on the radio show. Let me share exactly what they said. The comedian called Seiya said, "Yeah, I don't really know how much I allowed to say. I mean, it's kind of presumptuous to say we are close, but I do chat with Oda Sensei on LINE. LINE is just application like WhatsApp or Messenger. Even today, I messaged him saying how much enjoying the latest chapter and stuff. I mean, manga creators are like gods, right? So I figured if someone who's actually messaging the god of manga is out there posting fan theories, maybe he wouldn't like that. So kinda stopped doing it. But then you said something that made me think, maybe I should go back to it." And then Soshina and Seiya's conversation continued. "Oh yeah? One Piece is just so good right now. Well, I mean, it's not like you can't do it. As entertainment content, I guess it's fine. Still, I don't know. Theories feel a bit sketchy, you know." "Oh really?" "Apparently, he doesn't like them." "Well, then maybe don't do it." "I don't know. I mean, it could be interpreted that way, I guess." So as you can see, he never actually said that Oda Sensei himself said he hates the theories. He just implied it based on his own interpretation. Still, that one line, Seiya's line, でもやっぱいやらしいけどな考察とか. Apparently he doesn't like theories. Spread on its own and become the huge thing in Japan. Even though we don't know for sure how Oda Sensei really feel about theories, that comment took on the life of its own. And then, following all the public buzz, someone from the One Piece official YouTube channel addressed the whole situation in a live stream. The show is called Nakama ga iru yo Tube, and it features two passionate One Piece loving YouTuber, Takashi and Nosuke, along with the host known as the Shocho, which means director in this case. And together, they take on all kinds of fun projects like gesture quizzes and store visits and short videos, all designed to bring hardcore or casual fans together to enjoy One Piece. Now, during one of their live streams, around the 4620 mark, they brought up the theory controversy. And then Shocho, director, shared his own perspective. He started by clarifying that he was speaking in his role as the host of official One Piece channel, and then explained his take on how Oda Sensei might feel about fan theories, not based on rumors, but based on his actual conversation with Oda Sensei over the years. From here on, I'll translate what he said as naturally as possible. Please keep listening. No, it's not like I've directly talked with Oda-san about theories and anything like that, but just based on how we usually talk, I'd say it's pretty much like what's written in the SBS of volume 101. First of all, he just doesn't watch One Piece theory videos. That's the key point, and from how he come across in person, I really don't think his views have changed at all. Still, for some reason, that comedian's comment get twisted around a weird way. And from how he comes across in person, I really don't think his views have changed at all. Still, for some reason, that comedian's comment got twisted around a weird way and is now spreading all over. That's the impression I get. That's basically what the chief, Shocho, said in the YouTube channel. To sum it up, Oda-san doesn't watch theory videos. Not because he hates them or anything, but more because as the original creator, it wouldn't feel right for him to be influenced by the kind of content. So he deliberately avoids watching them. That's the nuance he gave off. As for that radio comment from the comedian, Seiya, about Oda Sensei hates theories, the chief thinks that was probably just his own interpretation. He didn't mean any harm, but he made that statement based on how he saw things. In the end, the comedian's remark wasn't official, and when you actually listen to what he said, it's clear he was just speculating. Oda Sensei himself never said he hates theories. In official. When you look at the whole situation now, it's really not that big of a deal. It's the kind of topic they can even talk about in the official program, so it's not like it's some huge scandal. Honestly, the mood now feels like, yeah, this wasn't such a serious issue after all. Alright, so earlier, the chief of official One Piece YouTube show, Nakama ga YouTube, mentioned that Oda Sensei's thoughts on theory videos are basically summed up in the SBS section of volume 101. So let's take a look at what Oda Sensei actually said. First, here's a friend's question. Hey Odachi, these days it looks like a bunch of YouTubers making One Piece theory videos are really active. Do you ever watch those kind of channels? I mean, there's such thing as a bad One Piece maniac, right? And here's Oda Sensei's reply. Yeah, I know, they exist and I've seen quite a few. Honestly, they're super detailed. It's impressive. But when it comes to theories, they sometimes guess future plot points correctly, so I've decided not to watch them anymore. Having that level of hardcore fans reading the story is amazing, but it can also be a bit risky. There are lots of readers who just enjoy the story more casually, so I have to keep writing One Piece in a way that works for everyone. If I keep watching people who are so good at picking up the deeper layers of the story, I'll start thinking, well, maybe I don't need to explain this part, and I might get lazy. So I don't micromanage or anything, just keep having fun with it, everyone. Oh, and by the way, the official channel Nakama ga YouTube has also started, so check that out too. This is Oda Sensei's SPS statement. So yeah, that's what Oda Sensei actually said. As we mentioned before, the chief shocho of the Nakama ga YouTube show also point out that this SPS answer is the most accurate reflection of how Oda Sensei really feels about theories. In short, Oda Sensei does recognize and respect the passion of the fans who create theories. He even supports them, but at the same time, he intentionally avoids watching too much of it. Because if he lets it influence him too much, it could shake his own direction as a writer, as a mangaka. His answer really shows the mindset of the creator who's serious about staying tuned to his story and being fair to all readers, not just hardcore ones. So when we enjoy these series and discussion, I think it's important we do so with respect for the author, Oda Sensei's intention, and his words. And with that said, last time during the live stream, I said if the official One Piece team ever asked us to stop making theory videos, I delete all my content. But as of now, I am planning to keep posting One Piece theory videos just like always. By the way, this whole controversy basically starts because of the big misunderstanding. People started spreading the idea that Oda Sensei hates the theories and theory videos, even though that wasn't what he actually said. It all began when the comedian Seiya from the Shimofuri Myojo casually mentioned on the radio something like, apparently Oda Sensei doesn't like fan theories. But that was really just his personal impression, more like hearsay than anything concrete. Still, that one comment got taken out of context and spread everywhere. From there, the idea snowballed. People start saying things like, see, theories are annoying, or people who make theories are harmful to the story, and those extreme takes just kept getting louder. Of course, it's understandable that Oda Sensei, as a storyteller, wouldn't be thrilled about people guessing the plot he worked so hard to come up with. I mean, I've been there too. Back in the middle school, I used to post on my stories on the internet forums, and when someone guessed the twist before I finished writing it, I definitely didn't find it fun. But even so, there's never been any official statement from Oda Sensei saying, I want people to stop making theories. That just doesn't exist. What really happened in the Japanese One Piece community is that some people who are already uncomfortable with the fan theories took that one vague comment from celebrity and twisted it into some they could use. They acted like it reflected Oda Sensei's personal stance and used it to attack theory culture as a whole. So in the end, this whole situation is just a case of misunderstanding getting blown way out of proportion. It's one of those times when a bit of misinformation mixed with personal bias made the controversy seem a lot bigger than it really is. That said, I totally get why some people feel frustrated with theory videos. Even though whole culture of One Piece theories comes from deep love for series, when theories go too far, or when people put out misleading information, it can actually distort how others understand the story or experience it. Lately, there's been a noticeable rise in the same extreme patterns. For example, people, including some Japanese YouTubers, will confidently declare things like One Piece is directly connected to this ancient myth, or this character's line secretly uses lost ancient language with a hidden meaning, even though the evidence is vague at best. And they present it as if it's practically official. This kind of thing can lead to a few major issues. First, it gives readers, especially those who are still in the middle of the story, unwanted assumptions that ruin the surprise or emotional impact. Second, it turns the sort of "you should interpret the story this way" pressure, which narrows people's freedom to enjoy it how they want. And third, when people speak as if their theory is the truth, even though it's not official, it can twist the author's intent message and the meaning behind the dialogue. So honestly, it's no wonder that some people see all this happening and start to feel like, is this really a healthy way to enjoy the story? Yeah, in the end, the real issue isn't that fan theories are bad. The problem is when people start spreading strong claim or personal interpretation without a solid understanding or a clear context. That's why, as people who put content out there, it's so important to be aware that your theory is just one possible interpretation, not some absolute truth. And to always approach to the story and culture behind it with respect when you share your ideas. And to make things worse, there's something even more serious going on, people putting out theories and translations based on the misunderstanding of Japanese nuance or cultural context. Online, you'll often see explanations that rely only on Google Translation or the rundown bits of information, and they made bold claim like, this is what Japanese really means. But from the native Japanese speaker's perspective, those explanations can be way off. Like some people say things like Imu talks like a child or Luffy always speaks the same way, which completely miss the nuance of how Japanese version actually sounds. See, with Japanese context and cultural nuance are everything, it's not a language where you can just translate word for word and expect it to capture and the true meaning. It's also for me, I sometimes feel really difficult to translate between English and Japanese because they are completely different languages. There's a depth that only really comes through when you understand how things are said in their full context. That's exactly why on this channel, we focus on sharing the Japanese original meanings and subtle nuance of characters' line from the native Japanese speakers, as accurately and thoughtfully as possible. If you ever wondered stuff like, what does this line really mean? Or what's the intention behind the way this character talks? Feel free to leave a comment and ask. Your question might even become the theme of our next video. For anyone who wants to understand the real meaning behind the Japanese words, this is the place. Let's dive into the true One Piece together. Right here on this channel. There are a few more things I've noticed too, but I'll be sharing those in the more detail in upcoming videos on Dusk or LunaPienArt here and on my own page as well. So if you are curious and wanted to dive deeper, make sure to keep an eye out for updates there. Also, I offer service related to Japanese and translation. Lately, I've been helping overseas creators who are starting YouTube channel in Japanese language, checking scripts, refining expressions and translating subtitles, and even giving a cultural advice. And yes, I still have some spots open for private Japanese lesson too. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out anytime via Instagram or email. Alright then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.